and welcome to Martlet Games. My name is Sarah, and I'm the storyteller for our historical Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle, London's Bleeding, which takes place in the first winter after the Great War's end. This is episode 6, so please check out the previous episodes on our YouTube channel or Twitch video on demand. As a warning, this is a game for mature audiences. The players in this world of darkness are aware of the dark themes present and have discussed their limits with me both privately and as a group. We check on one another throughout the session as it unfolds via chat and check in during the intermission as well as afterwards. The mental and emotional well-being of my players is my highest priority above all else. And so I ask you to take care of yourself first, and if that means leaving the stream, so be it. We will welcome you back with open arms at any time you choose. With that said, let's have the players reintroduce themselves, starting with Walter.
Hello, my name is Ben. I'm playing Walter the Gangrel.
Hello, my name is Patrick Gill, and I am playing Rafe Williams the Toreador.
Hi everyone, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I will be playing Lillian Crawford the Ventru.
And hi everyone, my name is Stephen Rieger, and I'll be playing Tommy the Malkavian.
Great, thank you very much. And thank you all at home for joining us this evening. And now we begin our familiar descent. The Christmas after the Great War was the first without acute fear since the war began in 1914. Many institutions like children's homes, churches, and even military bases threw celebrations with food, music, and performances. Even the flu, for those not affected, seemed forgotten in the inviting glow of Christmas lights and sounds of cheery carols. Kindred, though tracing their mythology back to the biblical Cain, seemed to have little involvement in these distinctly mortal traditions. The presence of the beast smothers peace and squanders goodwill. Nothing but death can satisfy their hunger in almost the antithesis of the birth of man's purported savior. And we're going to resume the night right where we left off. So it is 1:30 a.m. So technically it's Christmas Day now. The coterie is right outside the Trader's Gate, outside the Tower of London, and they've just spoken with the Sheriff of North London, Juliet Parr, where they got some additional information from her about the situations, the bodies in the Thames, as well as some guidance to stay the course, as it were, in their investigation. Before we get into it, would you all remind me what hunger everyone is sitting at currently? One. Okay, so Tommy's the only one. Okay, so Tommy's the only one at 2. Okay, that's cool. So, I'll let the coterie have a little bit of a discussion here now that Sheriff Parr has obfuscated back into the night.
All right then. Well, that was certainly something. Well, this is a bit confusing, actually, to tell you the truth, at least from where I'm sitting.
Isn't it always, though? When have you ever known anything that involves the tower to be not confusing?
Well, there's certain things that are obviously fairly black and white, like don't breach the masquerade.
Again, more of a guideline. It really just depends on whether or not you can cover your tracks well enough to breach the masquerade and get away with it.
Right, so how much latitude do we actually have with this, then? I mean, do we have her blessing to do whatever needs to be done?
More or less. I would consider it a very a roundabout blessing, so to speak. She's given us permission-ish, and so long as we don't fuck up. If we fuck up, she has deniability.
Understood.
If we, don't fuck up and succeed in whatever it is that we are doing now,
She'll
she
get the
will
credit,
exactly.
I'm sure.
There
Yeah.
you go. Mr. Price understands. Yes, she will absolutely take the credit for it, but you'll be ever the more in her graces, at least.
Right.
Put on a sandwich and eat it, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I understand how the game is played. She's. I don't want to say entitled to the credit, but I do know how the prestation and boons work. So it makes obvious sense that she get the accolades, but we still get something on the back end, as they say.
And as you all are having this conversation, Tommy, all of a sudden, you are struck with a vision. You see, you're transported somewhere else immediately. You see a woman with pale skin, naked, with long, dark, wavy hair, caressing what looks like some sort of sack. Like it's this large, it's about as big as her, if not bigger. And she's placing her hand on it, and something begins to emerge from it. But as soon as the thing starts to emerge, your consciousness then zooms back into East London, and you would recognize Ford Square, which is in the East End. It's just kind of a little park. There's really not a ton of special stuff going on there. It's just a park. And you're sort of zooming through this clearing, through some trees. You go into a very unassuming looking flat, and you go into a basement. And in the basement, you see charred circles on the ground, and there are runes there of some kind, though you don't recognize their origin. And it's at that moment that you jolt back into the consciousness of the present moment, but you feel as though there is fire all around you. Fire in the flat. Fire licking at your limbs. You hear screams. And one thing you notice about the screams is that they all sound high-pitched, like they're the screams of women. And you smell burning flesh. And you return to the present moment outside the Trader's Gate, and your hunger increases by 1.
Ford Square. We gotta go.
All right.
Right now.
Okay. Lead. All right. Lead the way.
I'll tell you about it as we go.
I'm.
Lillian, can we get a ride, please?
Very well.
Thank you.
Head
Okay.
to the car.
Okay, and as always, wherever Lillian is, there's a car circulating somewhere nearby. So
Obviously.
we'll say the car comes and picks you up. And since you're down there by the Thames, you're gonna come up. You're gonna go north. It's it's almost a straight, you're going to go north and then you're going to go deeper into East London, and you're almost going to arrive on the border of what is St. Catherine's and Wapping, the neighborhood, and Whitechapel, which is a little further north, which is, at this time, again, it's a slum, pretty much through and through. So all the houses are broken down. So now, Tommy, how are you identifying? Are you just going to the Ford, just to Ford Square, or are you trying to pull up outside any of the residences?
I'm going to go directly as center as I can to what I can remember, and then start pointing my finger, trying to find the same flat.
Why don't you give me a wits and streetwise, please?
Absolutely.
Yep.
This isn't that bad of a roll for me. It's a 1.
They're all looking the same. They're all dingy. Some of them are abandoned. Probably a lot of them are abandoned. There's not a lot of lights on in this area, despite the holiday evening. What's up?
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something to say. That's my bad.
No.
What's Tommy? What is going on?
There is a flat here in this square. I saw it. There's burning. There's burning circles. It's engulfed. It's.
Right, what did the building look like, Tommy?
More importantly, what did the exterior around the building look like? Were you able to see perhaps maybe adjacent buildings or the street or anything else that could give us any sort of direction?
Storyteller, I'm going to try to pull on my cobwebs again.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I'm going to try to think as hard as I can to try to get that vision back.
Sure. So you will come in contact with the cobweb once again, and you'll hear whispers in your ear. It's always disorienting, and you just were tapped into it with this vision that you had. So it's hard not to get extremely disoriented, but you do see that there is a red bird, like a pewter little hanging like kitsch thing over the entrance to the flat in question.
There's a red bird. In the opening.
All right, I'm gonna try looking for a red bird.
So does that sound familiar at all?
That wouldn't sound familiar. There's a lot of old, door hangings that are there from families past that lived here in perhaps more prosperous times. So Rafe, why don't you also roll me a wits and streetwise?
All right, this is not too bad of a roll for me here.
Storyteller, one more time, since I went to the cobwebs, do I have to take another hunger? I just thought about that.
No.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Oh.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you.
No, you're fine this time.
I was like, I shouldn't say anything, but I feel it.
2.
Oh dear.
Okay. So a two will allow you to see, and it's actually kind of funny. It's really in the northern edge of Ford Square. Like the flat and the entrance like directly across You do see, and it looks a bit rusty. It's definitely lost some color, but you see a red bird.
All right, I'm frantically tapping the shoulder of the driver. There, right there. Go now.
Okay, so the driver will presumably stop. You all want to get out?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you'll get out, and you're now out front of this this flat with the bird hanging on the entrance.
I'm looking around the neighborhood. I'm trying to spot anything that might seem immediately out of place.
Give me wits and awareness.
All right.
And see unseen.
Sure, absolutely. Please roll wits and aspects for you, Lillian.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go scope folks and obfuscate.
I guess
Okay,
I've
so-
got everybody's 6.
So you're using what power of obfuscate exactly? Like cloak of shadows?
Unseen passage.
Oh, unseen passage. Okay, sure. You got 5?
Mm.
Okay, so Rafe got 5, Lillian
4.
4. Okay, wow, great rolls from both. Okay, so Rafe,
Right.
you don't see anything out of place here. There's no like weird rough looking types of people around here. It's almost too quiet. It's unsettling slightly, but you don't see anything immediately out of place. Now, for Lillian, you will see at the entrance of the flat with the red bird hanging over it, you will see what give me intelligence and occult, please, also.
Okay. I can do that too. Ooh, that's not a good one. Damn it.
What?
I had 2 dice and both of them just rolled a crit.
So that's a messy crit then?
Out of my
Yeah.
both of my 2 dice.
So you're
I
a
just
hunger and a regular?
Yes, both of them
Okay,
just rolled a
so-
crit.
Yeah, so okay,
Aw.
that's a messy crit. That's interesting.
Oh Jesus.
Oh no.
It's okay.
I only had the 2 dice because
That's really weird. That's a really that's a statistically impressive roll.
I
so-
know.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
like,
shocking
shit.
to all of us for sure. So with a messy critical, let's see. First of all, you see what you would recognize at your, you're a bit older of a kindred than some of the other members of this coterie. So you just have this longer sense of knowledge and interacting with the kindred world. And then you sort of rack your brain to think about different, occult leanings, occult things that you've heard, overheard at Elysium. You hobnobbed with some unfortunate loudmouth Tremere at some point. So you'll see what looks like a pretty clear ward that's out in front of this place. You don't recognize the runes, and you know what? I will say, because of your critical success, you will recognize that this is a ward against Kindred. And due to the messy nature of the critical, you will also increase your hunger by 1.
Ouch. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And you get an unpleasant memory. Maybe another time you came up against a ward against Kindred. Maybe you were like hurt in place that a ward was at some point, and that makes your beast immediately rear back and snarl, that you can feel almost this rumbling in your chest and your stomach. And so you see that ward against Kindred.
I'm going to walk over towards it, kind of looking at it and just, how intriguing. Indeed. Any of you know what to do about one of these?
Negative.
What is it exactly?
Yeah, no one can see this video.
That's why I said negative. I'm like,
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Oh, damn it. That's right. You can't see it. Okay. There, just here, right here, there is this rune of sorts. It's like a drawing-ish, kind of. It is a ward. Particularly a ward against our kind.
Oh, like, I'm looking around to make sure no one's out in public like magic.
Yeah, no one's here. You're good.
Precisely. But this particular bit of magic is more so designed to prohibit us from going through.
Is it reachable? Can I touch it? Or is it like up high? Or
It sort of exists like suspended in the air. Like it'd probably be at like kind of like chest level for you, probably.
so it's not like drawn on something and okay.
It has the quality that it could be that, but it is like purely magical. So it's sort of like existing in a shimmery sort of way.
So, I don't have incredible experience with this sort, but I can say that should any one of us try to remove or go through or anything of the sort, the odds of us liking the effect it will put off are very, very slim. Which makes whatever it is guarding to be that much more interesting.
So do we need to find somebody sneaky and human?
Potentially. I mean, it seems as though it's more so geared toward our kind, but who knows? I don't do dealings with, blood magic or that. That is more of a Tremere's property, and they're not even really supposed to be here, which is quite interesting of its own merit, considering what our lovely sheriff just told us about the Tremere and that gargoyle creature thing, and, the prince. So, how interesting indeed.
So I can't see it. Can you explain it to me a bit more? So this thing's hanging in the air, and is it like a fence? Like we can't pass through the fence?
So there's a mark just here. As
Alright.
you can't see, sorry.
I can imagine it.
Right. And think of it as just a mark. Something sort of like a drawing of sorts, and it's there. And with it being right there, if you, Mr. Price, were to try to walk forward, disobeying its obvious warnings, then you would likely meet an untimely end, potentially, or perhaps you might just be zapped into a state of torpor, or maybe even just knocked back a few, but I can't be certain. I'm not into blood magic myself, but
None of which sounds favorable.
right,
But
you can understand the gravity of the situation, the fact that this is here and we are here and we probably need to go there. If you were to send a mortal person, perhaps they would be fine to go through, but considering they would go through at our suggestion, that could have dire effects as well, or they might not even be able to pass either, in which case then, more dire effects. And honestly, I can't be certain. Again, I don't do blood magic.
Right, so
Right.
can we just safely assume then that this place may be potentially connected with the gargoyles?
Oh, absolutely.
And
Very safely assume that.
And right, I mean, obviously right now, Mom, we're not equipped to be dealing with something of this nature. And I look at Tommy. Sorry.
Okay, perhaps, can any of you withstand potential tragedies befalling your physical form? Any?
It's possible.
I'm more tougher up here, Mom.
Right, that could be helpful, perhaps. Can't be certain. Sometimes they'll make you dumb, sometimes they won't. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's more so a lack of anything.
More so one-time protection from our known weaknesses.
Okay. So can any of you project yourselves beyond this mark? No? Okay.
And it's at this point, actually, you still have Sense the Unseen up. It's the same scene. So, are you looking at the entrance? Okay, you will kind of see out of your supernatural peripheral vision. You see, like, pop. There comes a very clear Nosferatu out of obfuscation, and he's approaching all of you, and as he sees you notice him, he just like drops the effect when he sees that nobody's around, and he very like on a mission comes up to you and just said, Tommy, Rafe, is that you?
Right.
All right.
I've been sent by Brimmer. He just wants to say he hopes he can look forward to your presence at the festivities later tonight. As in Christmas night, not...
At that point, Lillian would turn to look at those two. Really? A party? That's what you're going to do?
Oh, it ain't a party, miss. I mean, it depends on what you like, I guess. But not with fancy dress and all.
The broken mouths are going to demonstrate their power later tonight.
That sounds like a you and potentially you problem, not a me problem. A me problem would be dealing with whatever that is and whatever this is, considering our good sheriff has decided that it's something we can handle.
And he looks at the Nas looks at Tommy and Rafe again, sort of giving side eye to Lillian. I mean, Brimmer said you could bring your crew, and I mean, with all of us, should be pretty safe, and the boons will extend to anyone else that comes with you.
Question for you, dear friend, Ish, potentially. Brimmer, would Brimmer be kind enough to assist us in dealing with that? Oh, can't you see that? Or do I need to explain it to you as I did for them?
No, I can see it.
Oh, fantastic, so much easier.
I don't know why you're hanging around here with that there bad news.
Well, of course it's bad news. It's bad news in the effect that it is very likely that one of the more forbidden sorts of our kind have put it there, and I don't think that the prince is going to like that very much, do you?
Oh, you mean one of them warlocks?
Precisely.
Blimey, haven't seen one of those in ages.
They're not supposed to be here.
Right. Grimace said.
Ah, right.
Anyway,
Grimmer.
I can't really stay. But I'm just here to give you the message and all. So, he really would like you to be there, and it's like you'll be fine. Like, there's going to be all of us there. We'll take care of it.
Can you get through this mark without being displaced?
No, Mum, I can't.
Not even underground?
Now there's thinking. What about that?
Might be an entrance around the basin. Could kind of loop back to round to these flats, but I don't know. I'd have to ask me brothers.
Good. Why don't you do that? And we will try to sort it out here. Although I do have a feeling that we're going to have to enlist someone or something else to do such. I'm absolutely not going to risk myself going through that.
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't ask you. Never.
Well, it sounds like if we crash a party tonight, we might be able to talk ourselves into a guide or two.
I mean, I'm nobody, but I'd say the logic is sound.
Very well, we'll go to this whatever it is, and
It's not a party, Mum. I want to reiterate that this is not a party.
I look at you like, of course not.
I'm very well aware that it's not a party. This one already stated such, and I'm not incredibly enthusiastic about attending, but if it will in some manner aid us in getting past that so that we can find out what it is dear Tommy has seen and experienced, then why not?
All right.
It was a rhetorical question. Do not answer that.
I have an idea.
Please do tell us.
I don't think anybody's going to enjoy it.
Hooray.
You don't know me.
I remember the flames of this apartment. This was engulfed in flames.
I don't think you said that before.
I felt, I could smell burned flesh. There was something going on. It wouldn't be
Tommy,
hard-
while you're explaining this, actually, why don't you give me a wits and awareness roll, please?
Okay.
Everybody drink.
Hey, cheers.
Salute.
Three. Okay. So as you're kind of explaining and your eyes are still like all over this building, you will notice, like, it's almost imperceptible, but you will notice, like, at the bottom, like at the very bottom of the west wall of the flat, even in the dark, you can almost detect this like black charred thing, and it's almost gray now. It's not even black, but it does look like at some point there was some kind of fire here. Like, it would suggest that there was a fire here, though it was probably very, very, very long ago.
Okay. If if we can't get the help from Brimmer, crazy idea. If we can't get into it, burn the walls down. There's something in this.
I'm sorry. What did you just say? Burn the walls down?
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if you were to set fire to the walls of this building?
Then the next building will go up.
And the next, and the
And
next,
the next.
and the next, until the entirety of London is ablaze.
What year is it?
However, will that
1918.
serve any sort of purpose? Burn them all out, is that what your plan is?
I'm not going to throw that idea away.
Alright, so burn them all out, while at the same time burning out all of my assets, and Mr. Price, and Rafe, and so on and so forth, and might as well throw Anne into that mix, and the sheriff, and the prince. Oh, he's going to love that idea. Let me tell you, he is going to be just swimmingly fine with that. Happy as can be.
So put it in your
Great
back pocket.
idea. We should do that. Absolutely. We should do that right now. In fact, let's have a big bonfire, why don't we? We can call
Hey.
Anne, actually, and go from here.
Hey, Tommy, you should roll some willpower right now.
I think this is the first time Lillian has really just cut into him at all.
I
I say
think
it's
you're right.
probably been a couple centuries since he's been talked to like that.
And that's why he makes a roll for angry times.
Oh, yay. Oh.
Did you really get a 0?
A 3, a 4, and a 3. I sit with
Okay.
very small willpower.
Okay. All right. Well,
Now remember,
This is
refresh. This is a new session. Technically, I'm trying to find it out here. So if
yeah, you didn't
Jesus
spend
Christ,
any.
We're about
You
to
didn't,
be
like,
PvP in this game too. The fuck, guys?
I literally have 3 willpower.
Oh no!
God. Okay.
I got this
Alright,
though.
here
I
we
got
go.
this. I got this. I got this
we-
better than
we're
I had
going
the
for
other.
it.
Yeah, I got
Damn
this
it.
though.
Okay. Well,
Fuck.
this is what happens at the start. So, Lillian, you're not only Lillian, but Walter is also shooting down this idea. Now, for another kindred, the rejection would not be as bad, but Tommy's status as a Malkavian, and an older Malkavian at that, having his plans crushed and his ideas shot down, it makes Tommy feel almost like you're just calling him crazy. And you don't trust his mental faculties,
If the shoe
and
fits, wear it.
you feel yeah, and you feel like your visions, your connections that you have mentally are being denied in this moment by these physical people that can never understand what goes on in your mind, and they will never approach it even if they live centuries beyond this night. And this sense of being insulted and belittled just shakes you to your core. And what Tommy does then is, because of this anger frenzy, instead of lashing out at your fellow coterie members,
Oh no! Oh no!
I don't know what you're thinking. I don't
I
think
know.
we're
I
thinking the same.
know what you're thinking. Proceed.
I think. Continue.
What happens is you're going to stop the conversation. You're going to go over to where you saw the charred bits of on this flat, and you're going to sit down, like slide down the wall, so that you're on this dirty London street, and you're just gonna, with your back against the wall, you're just gonna start hitting your head on the back of the wall, and you're just hitting your head, and you're hitting your head, and you're hitting your head. So please at this time take 2 superficial damage.
All right. Give me a...
Go over and put my hand between the wall and his head.
Lillian will walk over to him and just kind of completely unamused. Really? I had such high hopes for you, but this is what you resort to.
Leave this man alone. You've already ruined his night.
What did I do other than the same thing that you were doing?
He's a
I was
volatile
telling him the truth.
While the two of them are arguing, I'm going to come up to Tommy. Rafe doesn't know exactly how this is going to affect him, but he's going to attempt to use Obeah on Tommy.
Okay. Let me bring up the thing here. All right.
Now,
so
if this is legitimately not going to have a in-game effect, that's fine. Tommy doesn't, or I mean, Rafe doesn't know that. He hasn't tried this
my next move is going to be to slap Tommy if this doesn't work and tell him to get his shit together.
Okay, so
let's hope for this one.
Right. So yeah, let Rafe will then employ Obeah. So that is going to be a rouse check from you.
Right. I succeeded.
Fantastic. And now please roll your composure and auspex.
Okay. That is 1 success.
1. You attempt to employ this power of your blood, you're rousing, but it's been a little while since you've had to use this, and you're not able to soothe his mental turmoil in this instance. And Tommy continues. He's not as actively trying to like bash his head against the wall, but now he's more like kind of curling forward and just kind of catatonic.
Right. I would imagine Tommy's maybe feeling some legitimate warm fuzzies, but it's not enough to break him out of his... Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
At which time Lillian is going to get annoyed by the banging of his head on the wall or on Walter's hand. And she is going to slap him and tell him to, that is quite enough. Get your shit together now, please. We don't have time for this.
And the
And when
slap rings across his face. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when I do that, when I say that, I'm going to try to make eye contact, and I think it's use compel.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's compel that I want to use.
Okay. I mean, you've got his gaze there. I don't believe that requires a rouse from you.
I don't think so. I'm just double checking. It's free. It is charisma plus dominate versus intelligence plus resolve.
Okay, so go ahead and just roll your charisma and dominate then.
All right.
We've tried slapping sense into shell-shocked men before, and all we've done is beat a man.
Thanks.
Five, one with a crit.
Okay, so you successfully gain Tommy's gaze, and there have now started some blood tears coming down his face, and he's looking past you. He's not looking at you, and he almost has this frightened look on his face, like a child.
That's quite enough. Time to get up. Now.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say, and she's just, once that's done, once she has said what she has to say, she's going to turn and start walking in the opposite direction.
Okay. And Tommy, we'll say that at this point, you will stand up. You gain enough composure that you can just sort of passively exist. But you are unable to speak or otherwise kind of react to stimuli in your environment. You're just sort of like an automaton propelled by the powers of the blood, of Lillian's blood specifically. So you're just sort of momentarily shocked into being able to carry on in a very limited capacity.
Right. I try to assist Tommy up. Maybe an arm slung over his shoulders. Alright, look, and I look to the Nos. Look, tell the Underprince we will do what we can tomorrow night. I don't want to necessarily welsh on any perceived agreements that may have been there. We definitely will want to try to assist however we can. Stability with the mortal population here is paramount.
So. Right. And he's looking shifty at this whole scene with Tommy, like he's ready to get the absolute hell out of there. And he's like, yeah, right, that's fine. I'm gonna go back now to the tunnel, and I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, lad, and tell Brimmer we'll, like I said, we'll do what we can. You see what kind of state we're in right now.
Right, yeah, okay, alright, bye. And he obfuscates again. And Lillian, you can probably see him, and he's like he's really trying to book it without breaking his obfuscate. So yeah, and he'll just head back south toward the tunnel. How would you like to proceed?
Lillian's heading to her car.
Okay, everybody gonna get back in the car?
Yeah. That is, of course, if we're still being offered a ride back to wherever we need to go, ma'am.
Of course. So long as we're done with theatrics.
Right. I'm kind of Rafe's dealt with plenty of shell shock covering the front, and
we don't have time for those, or cries for help, or sad tears for long lost lives. That has come and gone, and we need to move past it and continue on with what we are sort of deemed to do. Should we fail, I need you all to understand, should we fail, the sheriff's not going to be happy, and if the sheriff's not going to be happy, who else do you think is not going to be happy?
Right. So
it is not a good thing that we were given such a task at all.
All right, well, tell you what then, Mom, just if whatever happens tomorrow, we're all going to need to be in best shape, and obviously Tommy here is not on stable footing right now, so if you wouldn't mind, just take him and me back to the Randy Dandy. I'll see that Tommy is situated, and then I don't know. You can send a man for me or whatever it is that you do. And Walter, I think probably if you've got any friends, send them to case this place out during the daylight just to see what's going on. Tell them to just stay out, but just keep an eye.
I've got somebody.
Right.
Okay. So we'll say you all pile into the car. And the Randy Dandy is just a short jaunt kind of southwest of Ford Square. So that will be the first stop. So Rafe and Rafe leading Tommy will enter the Randy Dandy, and it's definitely not as busy as usual. In fact, it's pretty empty. You do see there is the regular madam standing there at the front desk, and it's this typical they tried to get the nice furniture at the time, but it's all kind of passed through many hands and it's dingy looking. It's sort of got this burgundy trim, trying to make it look a little bit enticing. Some like an armchair here and there. It's not really a very big lobby area, and then it just kind of has a hallway that goes down to a bunch of rooms, and you can sort of hear the women speaking, nothing intelligible from the rooms, but you can sort of hear maybe like one or two, because some of them have departed for the holidays.
Right. I just nod to the mum, and Rafe would know where Tommy's like room is here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So Rafe is going to lead. There's going to be like no chit chat with any of the gals tonight. Rafe is good for food. He's going to take Tommy to his little personal flat and try to get him settled in as best as he can. I don't know, Tommy, what's the room look like?
The room that I have at the Randy Dandy is pretty plain. Nothing more than just a bed, a lamp, an end table, another chair. Nothing too fancy, this one.
Right. So I lead Tommy over to the bed and I sit him down on the edge and I grab the chair and sit kind of across from him. Right, lad? We're home. Do you need anything? Look, I'm sorry I couldn't help. I tried. Look, are you sure you're okay? Right. I'm gonna go and head home. I've got to take care of some things, and I've got some matters I need to see to before whatever happens tomorrow night. Just look, hang in there, lad. All right. I reach over, put my hand on his shoulder. I'm gonna try Obia one more time.
All right, give me another rouse check.
Yep. Womp! I finally failed.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yep.
So
we've worked this
out. This night is just it's too much. You're asking a lot of yourself and the powers of your blood to try to soothe Tommy once again. And you hear a very, very familiar woman's voice in your head. And she says, "Can't you do anything right?"
Oh no, have her do it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah. We're doing this
Please.
Wraith style. We're
Oh,
doing
my
this,
bad. Okay, Lillian, go for it then.
Bloody hell, can't you do anything right? Seriously, how many times do I have to tell you you can't save them all? You need to pick and choose, Rafe. This is not a fucking charity. You're never going to get anywhere like this.
Alright, I'm trying.
You're trying. Oh, you're trying. Try less, do more. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because I don't see it right now. What I see right now is a sad excuse for a Toreador.
And this is where I'm gonna make my roll.
So if you'll roll composure and aspects again for me.
I was going right in the rib cage.
I'm at hunger 2 now.
Swear if you frenzy in my room.
It's all Lillian's fault.
I'm going to spend a willpower.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, still just 1 success.
I'm sorry to say that you are not able still to soothe Tommy's very, very tortured mind at this point. And Tommy, in your head...
See? I told you so.
Tommy, in your head, you know, on the outside, you're just sort of existing. And then in your head, you're just replaying scenes from the wars, the multiple wars that you've been involved in. Shells, explosions, blood everywhere, blood in the trenches. You see the Confederacy of the United States. You see their gray uniforms, their scowling faces, their bayonets, their rifles. The sounds boom in your ears. You hear the whispers of the men dying in the trenches, them calling for their mothers. They were just kids. Some of them weren't even 18. So many lied about their age. Here you are, hundreds of years after these wars, almost 100 years since that one. And those kids didn't even get a shot. What's so special about you? Why are you allowed to survive and all of them perish? And you see their faces ghostly white, swirling in your vision. As unfortunately, Rafe is not able to soothe this. This is a torment singular to you, and he simply can't touch it. So, Rafe, are you what's happening now?
So Rafe now he's feeling a little peckish, so he might try seeing if one of the girls there, one of his normal girls there, wants a Christmas present.
Okay, and we don't have to play that
No.
all out. You'll find a lady. She definitely wants to make some money right now.
Mm-hmm.
So she's and you know, she's just knows the drill.
Mm-hmm.
And how many hunger would you just one?
Just the one.
Just the one. Okay, so you'll take the blood from her in the typical fashion, licking the wound close, and you'll slake 1 hunger. What's your action after that?
Gonna go home and start prepping for his regular Christmas night ritual that he's been doing lately.
Okay, so with that, we will come back to that, but
Yep.
We're going to pivot to Walter, who would be the next dropped off. Are you just going to your regular place?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll arrive via car to your secure flat that's right along the Shadwell Basin. And you'll walk in, and in this main room, it's getting on 2:33 a.m. at this point, but there surprisingly are like a lot of your regular tribe members there, and you walk in and they're looking kind of fortified by your presence, and they kind of all perk up as you enter, and Jack Dory emerges, and he says, I'm really glad you're here, Walter. We all wanted to say we were sorry.
Hello, Jack. Welcome to my home, I guess. What is... Apologize then. Let me know what shortcomings you felt the group has committed.
Well, we had to chat, all of us together. Well, most of us. I mean, some have gone home, but we know we haven't been doing right by you. We haven't been strong. You're right. We agree with you. But we're going to do better now. War's over. Times will get easier. It's just hard to believe that it's really all done with. And I think we're just, scared it's all going to go back to the way it was. And, well, yeah, so we're just sorry for being weak. We're sorry for being too, insistent with our demands and from you and whatnot. And the other guys, as he's sort of giving this apology, are just all kind of like nodding in agreement. They're looking at you. They're not being sheepish. Like they're trying to like really feel responsible. You hear a couple of other sorries from the crowd, and they're not like shifting away from you. They're trying to sincerely apologize. And then Jack, he says, now, before you say anything, we got you something.
Oh.
I mean, it's Christmas after all.
It is Christmas. I can't wait to see it.
And so, yeah, so one of the guys goes to their quarters, and he comes out, and he hands it to Jack, and Jack presents you. It's not wrapped. There's no bow or anything like that. But it's a really, really sturdy, like wooden club.
Ooh.
And if you rotate it slightly, you can see that actually not too badly carved in it is your name, Walter.
Oh, I'm heartwarmed.
And they are all kind of smiling expectantly, and Jack sort of starts off like, yeah, I mean, we got the stuff together, and a couple of the guys, we just know you're doing a lot recently, and we want you to be safe, so we thought maybe this will help.
So I compose myself. One second. Thank you, all of you. It's a very thoughtful gift, and it lets me know that you do take our brotherhood seriously. Thank you for your apology. It means a lot. But our actions are actions, and our words are words. So thank you. I want you to take this time to spend with your family. And it is Christmas, so we must do at least one act of strength to help somebody else before we convene again. At that time, we will share our bonds with each other, but we cannot rest on our laurels. The only way out is through, and the only way to build greatness is through despair. I understand that we all have things going on, but it's only through us are we gonna pull ourselves out of it.
And they're captivated by these words, and they all stand up and sort of like, they're cheering, they're slapping each other on the back, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go out. We're gonna be strong. And you just sort of hear these exclamations of agreement. And they sort of all gather around you and sort of like try to get you in a hug.
I'm looking around for Clarence. Is he around?
Actually, yeah. Clarence is there. But he's not in the thrall. He's in one of the bedrooms at the back of the place.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna go try to find Clarence and pull him aside.
And Clarence is sitting on the bed, doing nothing, looking just a furrowed brow and just kind of looking concerned. And he sees you walk in, and instead of being like hi, hello, or any of the pleasantries, he just looks up at you and he's like, I should be at home.
You are right, but my words are not hollow. The only way out is through, and the only way to build greatness is through despair.
And he stands up as you say that, and he sort of, not in an aggressive manner, but he sort of just like puts his hands on your shoulders. He's like, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this.
Well, Clarence, I understand where you're coming from, and I hate to bring this back up, but you're the reason I'm here, as I am. And he starts getting really angry-eyed. It's like, it's your weakness that allowed us to get overrun. So I don't care how much you can't handle. I will see to your family they don't deserve this. And you may see your son before he leaves with this mystery.
John's leaving?
I told you this last night.
Oh, right. God. I'll have to see him again, yes.
Go home for Christmas, Rich.
And he takes one last look at you and walks out the door of the bedroom, and then goes right through the living area and out the door and out of the flat. Is there anything else that Walter would like to do in the remaining wee hours of the morning before day sleep?
I'm gonna have to find somebody else to watch that building now. I kind of pissed off my guy.
I mean,
no, I guess.
You there?
Well, no, because it's just a herd member. It's not a person, so it's not my retainer.
wait a minute.
I say, aren't your herd members people though?
Yeah, I don't know if I can call on that. Like Clarence is my retainer. I paid points for the retainer.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can ask a herd member to do that. I mean, I will. I'll ask a herd member.
Ghoul woman, tell them to do it.
All right.
That's Lillian's answer to everything.
Just
Ghoul woman, be done with
Very
it.
adventurous of you.
Do what you want. I mean, it's perfect.
Right.
Okay, so did you We can revisit that if you would like. We can kind of come back to it if you want.
No, I think it was much more poignant that Clarence and Walter don't get along. But...
Yeah. Okay. So Walter then will just remain with his members of his tribe that are in a little better spirit than Clarence, though that's not exactly hard to do. So we will then pivot back to Lillian. You have the furthest to go because you don't live anywhere in this East London slum. You live west in the Notting Hill area, where things are much nicer, and it's such an immediate change as the car pulls into this neighborhood. Some of the houses are decorated even. There are some lights on, like if you roll down the window you would probably hear some music. Christmas lights. Just there's definitely more activity going on in this area. So you'll get back to your residence, and you'll walk in the front door, and it's at that time that all three of your young women will come scrambling in, and they're all in their night clothes at this point. So they've all just got those kind of plain cotton white floor length nightgowns on, and the younger ones, there's still something very childlike. Now Bess is sort of out of that realm. She's the oldest of the three, and she's definitely not quite as like bouncy and happy to see you, but the other two are kind of just excited, and they're kind of sleepy, but there are teenagers also. They're not like little kids or anything. So they come in and they're like, Lillian, Merry Christmas.
To you too, darlings. Are you ready?
Yes, we really want to hear it.
Good. Come along then. And she will head towards the parlor room. There should be, going in there, everything should be set up to where there's, like hot cocoa or whatever they wanted and some little snacks.
Oh yeah, the servants have appointed all that kind of stuff. Everybody's
fire
well.
going in the fireplace.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she's going to, they would sit, she'd get them to get their, their snacks and such and have them sit. And she treats them very much so like children almost in this form, like in this particular moment. But she gets them to kind of sit around her, and she sits in a chair next to the fire, and she will start. All right. Where to begin? A long time ago, there was a very young girl, and her name was Sophie, and she was part of a very large family, and they had a very large estate, and they were very close, the entire family. And Sophie dreamed of one day being able to provide for her family in the future as her parents did for her. And as time went on and she grew up to be a very lovely woman, and next to her brother, who was also very, very charming indeed, still remaining very close to the parents, Sophie met a very charming young man by the name of Ethan. I'm sure you all know the last name at this point, don't you, darlings?
And they nod expectantly.
So Sophie and Ethan, they courted for a time, and then one day he did propose marriage, and she accepted. And the family, of course, being so close together, were thrilled by all of this. And Sophie, of course, had great dreams of having a family of her own and being able to share in the wealth and riches that she had been provided as a child. And she was very, very, very much in love with Ethan, and Ethan very much loved her. And they both dreamed about growing up and becoming this very intelligent and happy pair, much like their families had. And so they started to work towards that. And one night, I believe it was a night like tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I can't remember. I'm sure you can, though, girls. I must have told you 100 times already. Maybe not 100, obviously, but you know what I mean. Um,
And they giggle a little bit. And Bess's her eyes are kind of starting to wander. She's like going like, okay.
so it was Christmas Eve, and it was a grand party. Sophie's parents always went above and beyond to ensure that the community in which they lived were enriched and always had a very special occasion to be for Christmas Eve. And so they always had a grand party at their estate, and everyone around would come for miles and miles, and they would visit, and there would be food and drinks and laughter and happiness. And at the end of the night, before everyone turned in, Sophie's father would dress the part of the great gift giver, as some call him. What is it? Santa Claus, I believe, Saint Nicholas. And he would dress the part. He wouldn't wear the crazy suit so much, but he would absolutely wear, a bit of a red cloak, and he would laugh as though he had never laughed before, with this just incredibly jolly sort of sound. And he would go around to all the little ones that were there, and he would tell them a joke or ask them a riddle or something to get them involved and sort of play along with the game. And then he would give them a clue. And this clue would more often than not actually be the place in which their gift would reside. But he liked to pretend it was, all fair and an actual riddle for them to solve, and they would get their clue, and with so much joy and glee they would all together run around trying to sort it all out and find all of their gifts. And once they had their gifts, of course, they would come back into the parlor room, much like we are tonight, and they would all open them. And he always had something specific for each one, something that really stood out specifically to that child, whether one wanted a doll and they would get a doll, or another may have decided that they wanted to take up playing, a harp or a violin. And now, though it wouldn't necessarily be like the large harp, it would be a smaller, more lap-sized harp, but they would each get something that resonated with them.
And
And
it's at that point that the one of them like sort of looks, the two younger ones are sort of just like will titter with each other every so often, and they're like, and then like, we're going to get our presents tomorrow.
um And once all of the children had their gifts, and all was said and done, it was typically around this time of night when it was time for the other families to go home. And of course, Sophie's father would always give the parents something small, whether it be a bit of financial aid or a bottle of wine or something, just something small. That way, everyone got what it was that they hoped to get. Everyone got something on this night. Um, he made sure of it. And when all were gone for the evening, Sophie's father would, of course, insist on handing out very special gifts to Sophie and her brother, and even Ethan managed to, on this night specifically, to get his own gift. And it was always something very special, something that was known just between each individual and him. Sometimes it was something of an inside joke. It was hard to say. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ethan once got a stick and a very dull knife, and he thought it was the most fantastic thing. If I'm not mistaken, that is how the story goes, at least.
And they all laugh.
No one knows what that was about, but apparently it was a of great importance, and he loved it and cherished it. And once the gifts were given, it was time for everyone to retire for the evening to sleep. Now, I understand this part is a bit difficult to speak about, but it is a great deal of importance for our family's heritage. You see, there was one night specifically when Sophie and Ethan were fast asleep in one side of the house. I believe it might have been the east wing. And her parents and Ethan, of course, were in their respective rooms. I believe those were the West Wing rooms. I could be mistaken. It's been such a long time, and this story has been passed down for generations. But as you know, there was a fire, and it was a great tragedy. Sophie's family did not make it out of that fire, and she swore right then and there that she was going to make her father and her mother and her brother very proud of her, and she was going to live in their footsteps and ensure that her family grew in the same amount of prosperity and joy that she had. And that's what she did. She used her inheritance and she helped Ethan, and they grew and they invested very well in many, many different outlets, and that is where we are left today. We have the gunpowder facilities, and we have our estates here and in the Americas, and that is the legacy that we have been gifted. And that is something we cannot forget.
And Bess looks at you and she's like, I wish I could have met Sophie.
As do I. And one thing I can say that has always been passed down through tragedy, we grow. And we remember those who came before us. and we live each day with the same sort of will that she would have wanted us to be, just as happy and as caring and as close as we all could be.
And just think, Beth sort of sits up a little bit, and just think, now, like, in no time at all, I'll get a little older, and I'll be able to vote and to continue our family's influence and do right by our name.
Absolutely. That is what we do. We keep the memory, we keep the legacy alive, we provide for our children and our children's children, and we continue to do so as she did.
And it's at this point that they're all looking at you, just captivated by this story, even though they've heard it a bunch of times. It never fails to amuse Lillian's delivery. It's just, you keep their attention, no powers of the blood required. And you do at this point get this small twinge at the back of your mind. You're older, and so your humanity is every year further and further and further away. And when you look at the scene that's unfolding here, this story about legacy, this story about tragedy and rising from the ashes to ensure the success of your family, and all of these women are beautiful, affluent. The picture looks like it could come out of a magazine. Everyone, the light of the fire, all of the trappings of Christmas in a wealthy home, so much different than the poverty of the East End. But the twinge at your back of your mind clues you into how strangely perverse this still is. You're in the process of making Bess your ghoul. You're doing more than anyone to ensure your legacy. And you, almost like in Tommy's vision, but obviously not as strong, but still at the back of your mind, you feel the flames licking. You see the light in the distance of the estate going up in a mighty conflagration. And so there's a veil of darkness over this picturesque event, this picturesque family gathering. It seems hopeful, but there is a distinct darkness underneath it all, as you recall how you got here and who was destroyed for you to gain your station. And with that, we are going to take a little bit of a break and we will return with our coterie to see what they're getting up to with the rest of this holiday. So stretch, get some water, do what you need to do, and we will be back very shortly. Hello, and welcome back to Martlet Games. We left our Kindred. Lillian was recounting a very interesting family story to her 3 young charges, and we're going to pivot from that scene back to Rafe, who has now arrived back at his residence, and I believe has something of a ritual to complete.
Right. So, ever since his embrace on the night of Christmas Eve / going into Christmas Day, he sits down, and he's a writer by trade, so he writes letters to friends and family. He is currently sitting at his desk. He makes a point to handwrite all of these Christmas letters, but my dearest Maggie, it has been another year. The war is over, and I'm home. The year finds me in a strange place. We've obviously grown apart during my time on the continent, and now you seem to have possibly escaped death's scythe. At least that's what the doctors tell me. But sometime after your recovery, I will make a point to call upon you. And maybe we can begin to work towards... I don't think we can ever be what we were, but maybe something different but better. Love, your dearest husband, Rafe. He makes sure to actually dust the paper to prevent the ink that might still be wet from smudging. Folds the letter, places it in an envelope, and he stares at it for a moment before sticking the letter forward, closing his eyes, and letting the candle take the envelope. And he turns his head ever so slightly, just enough to see out of the peripheral vision the wastebasket. He tosses the burning envelope to join the growing ash pile that's in the wastebasket, and he's setting about to write one last letter before the sun comes up.
Why don't you give me actually just a quick performance roll to see how this letter is gonna flow.
Okay.
Just a straight performance roll is fine.
Okay. Alright, so just 5 dice. Just performance with the writing specialty.
Yep.
That is 2 successes.
So the combination of having to take care of Tommy, to see this ward, which is a portent of bad things in a city with a prince with a hatred of blood sorcerers as strong as Mithras. The confusing, as Rafe admitted, interaction with the sheriff. His mind is a miasma it's hard to find the right words, even though you know that no one will ever know them or read them but you. And it's all the confusion and turmoil of the night. And now you're just sitting here alone. And making these useless declarations that mean only something to you and nobody else. So your writing conveys your feelings accurately, but it's maybe a little bit more disjointed than your typical work.
All right, and this one is actually addressed to Lillian. So, dear Lillian, I am adding you to my annual Christmas mailing list. This is something that I have done ever since I was embraced. And I think that since you are the most recent addition into my, quotes, life, I only saw it fitting to grant you your first missive. And my accent keeps slipping into Irish and I can't help it, I'm sorry. I find that your guidance to be both invaluable and insufferable. You are both the most magnificent and the most wretched woman I have ever met. And I look forward to a potentially long working, quotes again, relationship, quotes. Sincerely, Rafe Williams, fledgling of Clan Toreador. He folds the envelope, or folds the paper up, puts it in the envelope, and proceeds with the candle.
Okay. And as the letter burns, this new entry on your list, this new facet of your ritual that has been going on ever since you were embraced, and even before in happier times, you can almost hear your beast at the back of your mind laughing gaily. Just Lillian's just a little bell of a laugh in the back of your head as it burns. And that, would you like to do anything else, Rafe?
No, that would complete his Christmas ritual. He's going to go about making sure that all of the sunproofing measures in his haven are still in place, and while away the rest of the night, early morning, reading a book.
Okay, cool. So it's at this point now that the rest of the night will pass. All of you will enter day sleep. No dreams, no visions, no disturbances, just a complete dampening of your consciousness into nothingness as the sun rises. And now, Christmas night, December 25th, 1918, continuing into the night. If you all would please perform your rouse check. Okay, Rafe is safe. Walter is good too. Tommy, why you do this?
The first time ever.
Oh my goodness.
I am at
Okay,
hunger
so
for.
let's start with Tommy.
You need to
So-
eat, bro.
Eat a
So-
sandwich.
Yeah, right. A people sandwich. So Tommy, as you awake, and I believe you're just still at the dandy, are you not? Or did you somehow meander your way back?
Would I have been able to head back?
I think after you sat there for a while, I think it would be feasible because you really don't live that far
Okay.
from
Then
where
I
you
would have
are.
had
so-
them.
I would
Okay.
just like to say that, Tommy, if you don't get your shit together, you're gonna start hearing Lillian in your head too.
Right? Lily is just gonna be everybody's beast.
Everybody's
eventually.
fucking beast at this point.
It was Lillian all along.
Actually, you know what? Let's say I just stayed at the Randy Dandy. Better for story. I'd rather do that.
Okay, it's completely up to you. Okay, so you'll just basically have just passed out, like I said, the dampening of the consciousness, and you awake in this sparse room, honestly kind of depressing because it's Christmas and you're in this East End nasty brothel with these women that probably have nowhere to go and no family. So you'll wake up alone and you hear your beast, but it's very, very different this time. Now it's full of rage. It's uncapped, and you see the eyes of your sire burning. You remember the hut in the wilderness and how he would paint the inside of it with the blood of anyone unlucky enough to wander that far out into the wilderness of New England. And you feel the beast almost grasp you by the neck and jolt you up out of day sleep. And he's saying, "What have I taught you? Have you learned nothing all these years? Who are you?" And then just like that, the voice is gone.
Tommy stands up and puts on Mask of a Thousand Faces.
Okay, I believe that that's a rouse check too, so please succeed.
10.
Okay, thank God. Whew. All right, so you do not get hungrier immediately. You don't look like Tommy. You look like every dyed-in-the-wool Cockney East Ender. Just a completely nondescript face. And so much so that even if there are girls, hanging out in the lobby or the madam, they just basically don't notice you as you walk out. So you're leaving the dandy.
I am going to, on my way home to my home, I'm going to take a trip towards the river.
Okay, so you're
And-
going south towards the Thames.
Do I see anybody along the river walking by?
Yeah, you'll see an adult man. Again, just your typical Londoner. Doesn't look, rich or anything, but he doesn't he seems in pretty good shape. And he's sort of like he's already like a little tipsy. Like he's kind of like stumbling a little bit. As he's probably on his way to another pub.
Okay. I'm going to walk to him and punch him in his face.
Okay. So it's a completely unexpected attack. So I'm probably not going to make you roll for that because he's immortal. He's slightly intoxicated, so there's no way that he can kind of defend against that. So he'll just take the blow and he'll kind of stumble backwards and kind of get knocked onto his ass.
Okay.
Oi, mate, what in the bloody hell? What are you doing?
I sit on top of him and I keep punching him until he's unconscious.
It doesn't take long. You don't have to expend. So you're like hitting him in the head?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, he's not conscious for long. So
Okay.
he'll become unconscious.
I feed.
Okay, how much hunger will you slake?
I'm going down to 1.
Can you take 3 points and you can? Okay. All right, we will say will
if it's human and you take 3, I think that they're like almost dead and like hospitalized level.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Kill them out though. Like if you go go to 0 hunger, it means you have to take their life.
Right, I know that part, but I wasn't just sure between the 2 and 3. Anyway.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So you will successfully slake 3 hunger, and you all but drain this unsuspecting man who has done nothing to you. You will feed ravenously. Are you biting him anywhere in specifically, or just like on the neck? Just on the neck. Okay, so you take your fill, and he is unconscious. His heart is beating. He is breathing, but it is very, very, very faint. Like he has but a wisp of vital life left in him. And what is Tommy, as he's sitting on top of this guy having slaked 3 hunger, like what is he feeling? What is he thinking?
Oh, he's just got this like 1,000-yard stare going. Like I am the monster.
Okay. Right. So the body is there unconscious and he needs medical attention or he will die.
I put him in the river.
Okay, so you just push him into the Thames.
Yeah. I stand there for a second and then I head home.
And you'll stand there and you'll watch the body just sink into the dark, disgusting, frankly, waters of the Thames with your 1,000-yard stare. I will say that this is going to result as a stain on your humanity.
Okay.
And as I mentioned at the very beginning of the game, this is worth 1.5 and not your standard 1. So if you incur another stain, that will be 3 stains on your humanity. And we can think about potential remorse if that's something you want to explore a little later on down the line.
Okay.
So please make a note of that, as will I. So are you now, you've pushed this body into the Thames, somebody's brother, somebody's dad, somebody's son, Christmas night.
A snack.
So where are you going now?
I have a date.
You do have a date. You really do. So we'll skip ahead a little bit. Tommy will walk home in a fog.
And I'll
Doesn't
change
take
back
too
to
long.
Tommy on the way home.
Okay, so you'll drop the Mask of a Thousand Faces. And you will walk into your home. And it's about 8 p.m., I'd say. The sun's just, we've just entered like full darkness at this time of winter. And you walk in. Now, how clean was your feeding? Do you have blood on you?
I wear a black shirt, so I don't have any like seam specks.
So we'll say that it's... Go ahead.
I would have, I would have tried to wash up before getting home. Like, just get it off my face.
Okay, fair enough. And we'll say that any, maybe there's some blood on your shirt, but it's not like detectable because of the dark color. So you'll walk in and Nathaniel is immediately there. Where have you been?
Nathaniel, it was bad. I got caught in thoughts of the war, and I ended up staying the nights or spending the day at the Randy Dandy.
The Dandy?
Yes. I go there because...
I don't like that place.
I know you don't. It was not by my doing. It was the closest place that a friend knew where I could be.
Yes, nothing's ever your fault, is it?
I try not to. I do my best.
And he gives you some major side eye. But he said he does approach you and kind of just touch your arm. He's like, all right, well, we have to go now. Are you ready? Are you going to be okay to come with me?
2 seconds and I will be out the door with you.
Okay, so we'll say that you maybe straighten your clothes a little bit, maybe change your shirt.
Throw a little perfume on and...
Yeah, sure. So you and Nathaniel then will leave your home and you will just go up the street to one of Nathaniel's friends' houses, and you'll enter there, and there's about 6 to 7 other men, just white Londoners, little better dressed than most people on the east side, and you walk in and it's a decently appointed flat for this area of town. There's a piano in the parlor, there's some art, there's a bar, and it's been sort of sparsely decorated for Christmas with like a little bit of a garland. And you both walk in and they say, and a couple, there's like 4 of them that are circulating in the room, and they'll say, we're so glad you're here. Oh, I didn't think you would be able to come. Oh, it's so nice to see you. And everybody exchanges some like cheek kisses, and you'll go through the motions as well. And a tall and slender man in a gray suit, Nathaniel, and you would know him as James. He owns the flat. So he says, oh, sit down. It's going to be so delightful, so terribly camp. You'll just wait. And so he tells you to sort of sit around in this parlor, and just a moment or two later, from a corridor at the back of the house comes two of the friends, again, just these like white Londoners, and they're dressed. One of them is in this Marie Antoinette ruffly dress and a big white wig with the little curls down the side, big hoop skirt, and some really crudely done makeup. Like, it doesn't look good. And then the other guy will come out, and he's wearing this like yellow silk poofy, it almost looks like a night dress, and it's got this big tulle thing underneath. He's got this blonde wig that has these like childlike ringlets with yellow bows, and again, these really crudely drawn makeup. And James, when they come out, everybody claps and they're like, oh my god, oh, it's wonderful, look at this, oh, what a treat. And you would recognize this, having been in, how long has Tommy been in London?
Tommy's been there for a couple years.
Okay, so if you've been there for a couple years, you would recognize this as an imitation of the pantomime dame tradition of London, where on Christmas, men will dress up like women. It's sort of not drag so much as it's like just sort of supposed to be a comical thing. Like, they don't do their makeup well. They're not trying to look like women. They're just trying to look sort of silly, and they have all these fancy outfits. And they do like performances, like all ages performances. And the hallmark is they dress in these frilly clothes, but they act really like burly. So the guys are coming out and they're like, like in these weird dresses. And so they immediately launch into this like performance of like Punch and Judy, and they're telling jokes, and everyone's just having a good time. What does Tommy think about all this?
Tommy is not really focused on the performance as much as he's there for Nathaniel.
Right. And Nathaniel, you'll be sitting together on a couch, and he's like kind of fawning over you, even though you had a bit of a tense interaction. He wants everybody to know, he wants everybody in the room to know that you're together.
Okay.
And he's hanging on your arm, and his head's on your shoulder, and he's maybe like playing with your hair. And as you kind of watch all this silly stuff unfold, he reaches into his jacket pocket, and he pulls out something in his hand, and he looks over to you with a loving gaze. And
Nathaniel, what is it?
Well, I got you a present, of course. It's Christmas.
Oh, you didn't have to, but thank you.
Anything for you, really, especially if you were having as hard a time as you said. Maybe this will lift your spirits. And it's a really nice, kind of luxurious burgundy red scarf. So it's a bit different than your dark clothes. And he'll just present it to you, and he'll reach around and tie it around your neck. Do you like it?
What a lovely gift.
I know it's a bit different, but it's a new time. The possibilities are endless now. We can be together here. You don't have to put yourself in danger. It can just be you and I. And it's at that point that we will pivot away from Tommy's scene and we will go to Walter. So Walter's waking up. Are you heading to the tailor's?
Yes. I wake up. I see who of my tribe is still there. I give them Merry Christmases, high fives, whatever we need to do. And I will see. I've been a little bit busy, so I will see if there are any shops on the way to the tailor's to see if I could pick up some sort of gift for the children.
Yeah, we'll say that there is some kind of little, like, almost like souvenir type shop.
Yeah,
that probably has some.
It's not going to be impressive. It's going to be.
It's going to be like just a pretty standard toy, like a little wooden horse or like a top or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll make the transaction there, no problem, and pick them up something for the kids, and you will arrive at the tailor's house. Are you knocking on the door, or are you just going right in?
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay, so you'll knock on the door, and Edna comes to the door, and she opens it, and she's a handsome woman. She's got angular features, dark, long hair, kind of not in the style at the time, very much a choice by her. And she's wearing sort of a nice green dress. And you know, she's done herself up at this time, so she's got her makeup on and looking nice. But you can tell she looks tired. There are bags under her eyes. Like maybe she hasn't been getting adequate rest. And she opens the door. She's like, Walter, Merry Christmas, come in.
Merry Christmas, Mrs. Taylor.
And she'll give you a kiss on the cheek as you enter. And as soon as she lets you in, Nigel is running up to Walter. Walter, he's just a little kid. Walter, Merry Christmas.
I stoop down. You're growing into a great big man, and I lift him up, and I'm all
he's laughing.
chummy and fatherly with him.
And once you kind of like do that and you put him back down, Nigel says, "You're really cold. Is it so cold outside? You're so cold."
Oh, it's December. It's Christmas. Of course it's cold. Maybe I will warm up by the fire.
Okay, all right. And he'll sort of take your hand and lead you to the fire. And in the little sitting room, John is there as well, as is now, is yours Ralph or Rafe also?
It's Ralph.
Okay, so Ralph is also there, and he's looking sullen. John kind of looks kind of jovial, just kind of enjoying Nigel running around being a little kid. But Ralph looks like he's completely over it. And Edna has disappeared into the kitchen for the moment.
Ralph, what's on your mind? You don't seem to be enjoying the greatest day of the year.
I don't understand really what's so great about it. I mean, we just had a terrible occurrence for humanity over the last 4 years, stolen my childhood.
And I kind of giggle under my breath, I guess. You have the rest of your life to be an adult. Your childhood will be fine. Everything is fine. I'm sorry that it feels rough now, but you're growing into a strong lad, and this will be nothing but a memory.
And he sort of sneers at you, and he's like, "Will it though? It'll be all right, will it?"
Of course it will. Of course it will. What's the alternative?
And he just shrugs and then kind of goes back to his sour face. And it's at that point that Edna will emerge from the kitchen, and she'll sort of gesture for you to like come see her in the kitchen.
Pardon me, boys. John, we're not done talking. I still want to meet the love of your life.
Yes. Merry Christmas, Walter. So Edna kind of pulls you into the kitchen, and she has sort of like a shifty look about her, and she kind of lowers her voice. Do you have any word about Clarence?
He's still rehabilitating. He is doing good work, and he misses you greatly. Have you not seen him lately?
Not as such, no. And yes, I know that's all well and good, Walter, but what am I supposed to tell my family? My parents, my cousins, my friends? I had a husband, and now...
You still have a husband, and he is still making good on his commitments, and I am here to help in his stead.
And I'm so grateful to you, Walter. I really, really am. I'm very, very grateful for all that you've given us, but it's difficult to live like this. I understand that you can come and go in the world as you please, but I am a woman with children who has to answer to a society that doesn't take me seriously if I'm not on the arm of a man. It's harder to move through the world. Don't you see what I'm trying to say? It's difficult with him not around.
Do you need a surrogate? I'm sure I could find someone to fill his spot. Is this about banking?
No. Do you really just see the surface of things, Walter? Do you ever care to think about how it makes me feel?
I cannot exactly put myself in your shoes. That is correct. I cannot put myself in the place of a woman who is not widowed but not have a man at their side.
And she throws her arms up, kind of exasperated. So you see, I'm in this strange purgatory. I'm waiting on this nebulous rehabilitation, and then I have you to come in and slide an envelope of money under my door so that I may pay the mortgage and keep food on the table for the children.
And bring strength.
But what life
to
is this
family.
for me? What life is this for me?
For you, this is for your family. It is important work that your husband is doing. It is what will bring his strength back. He was a shell of a man coming back from that war, and he would be no good to you now.
And you can see some tears welling up in her eyes. But at least my friends have a shell to hold on to at night. It's still someone that they can take in their arms and kiss and be held by, even if their mind is thousands of miles away. But I'm in the bed alone, and I have no recourse in this world. Everyone is celebrating. The boys have come home. But what about for us?
Would that truly bring you comfort? A shell, a man.
It's better than nothing. I do love him still. And it's at that point, that John will sort of peek his head into the kitchen.
Do I notice?
Everything all right? And
Yes.
Edna straightens up and she just sort of kind of shakes it off. Yes, just getting water all caught up.
Quiet. Yes, everything is fine. Merry Christmas. You are the man of the house?
Yes, right, of course. I do want you to meet my paramour. She's with her family this Christmas. Her father's come home from the war, so want to be with him at this time. But you will meet her before I leave.
And when is that exactly?
Well, come the turn of 1919, I suppose.
Oh, so that gives us 7 days.
Indeed. And he seems to be keeping you kind of at arm's length with this information.
John.
Malta.
You are a man now, and you may make all the decisions you like. I promised your family that I would watch out for you to make sure that you grow up strong and can take care of yourself. But what is the name of, what family does this woman come from?
Well,
you are very brave, but you are very local. You have not seen the world.
And that's why I want to go with her to France. I'm
not here to stop you. I need to know her family, so that we may get properly monogrammed towels or something.
Yes. That would be something, wouldn't it? Something like, let's see. And he gives you her last name, which is Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. Lovely. It's very French. I spent some time in France. I told you that, right?
Yes. I remember telling you. It seems like a rather nice place.
Yeah, not when I was there.
Well, yes, I suppose you're all right there. And John, it's at that point that like Nigel is coming up and pulling on his pant leg to come play with him. And we'll say that Walter will give the little presents to Nigel.
Yeah, the presents were like my dip card. They're the ones that's like, well, look at the time. Here are your presents. Enjoy. Have a nice day.
Basically, yeah. So you're gonna then maybe spend a little more time and then leave eventually. And then we are going to pivot back to Lillian. So it is Christmas night. So all of your girls are rushing around the residence, getting ready. They've got some makeup on. They've got their hair laid down. They are in very fine dresses, and they're sort of just like joking with each other and getting ready for the party. And Bess comes up to you as you'll emerge. Do I look all right?
Of course you do. Absolutely. You look fantastic. All of you will look fantastic.
Well, all the boys are home now, so...
I do know. Just understand that when you are being observed and when you are being the one to observe, always keep in mind you are a Crawford. We don't chase. Ever.
Oh no, and she looks in like a mirror that's hanging there, and she's like playing with the air. Oh no, I will never chase. They will chase me. Of that I'm certain.
Good. You are learning very quickly. The moment you start to chase them, you'll look back and there will be nothing left for you.
Yes, I know. And she's just distracted, sort of preening herself. And then she suddenly, like, a look comes over her face. Oh yes. I almost forgot. One moment, Lillian. And she goes to another room, and she comes back, and she brings out a large, one of those kind of cardboardy paper boxes. It's probably like this long, and it's done up really pretty wrapping paper and a big gold bow on it with this emerald green wrapping paper. And she hands it to you, and she said, I believe this is a present from your friend Anne.
Oh, how lovely. Thank you very kindly, dear. Now, run along, help the others get dressed, and then you should probably be heading out.
Yes. All right. I will. Now, take care, okay? And try to have a good time.
Absolutely. And remind the other two girls that they are Crawfords. The same goes for them as well.
Right. Of course. I'll make sure they remember.
Good. And then,
would you like to open your present?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it into another room because I don't know what it is, and
Okay.
obviously, so yes, I'm gonna take it into probably my room and open it there. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll unwrap the present.
Please be the head of Eleanor. Please be the head of Eleanor. Damn it.
I'm sorry, it's not the head of Eleanor. But in fact, it is a gorgeous emerald green velvet dress.
Oh.
And it's sort of in this form fitting with like a trumpet skirt at the bottom. And it has this sort of mesh overlay at the top, and of course it's perfectly fitted to you. Before you even try it on, you know it's exactly your size. And if you move a part of the dress over in the box as you're kind of just like feeling the material, and there you see a 44 revolver.
How lovely.
And some ammunition. And there is a note, just a short one from Anne. It's on this really lovely eggshell cardstock, and you see her very practiced hand with the letter. And it says, Lillian, I don't know what kind of trouble you're going to get yourself into. And I thought this was the most precious relic from the war. And if you would think on it a minute, you would look at the revolver, and this is like a standard issue British soldier Webley 44 revolver. So it's kind of got a longer barrel, and then, like I said, there's little ammunition, and then the rest of the letter is like, I do want you to be safe, and to know that I'm proud of the work you've done. Lady Anne. Signed.
All right. So, looks like I'm going to be wearing a green dress and having a gun tonight.
Indeed, you will.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And for this last little section, we are going to once again return to Rafe. And he will awake. And as he's getting ready for the night's festivities, as we dubbed them early on in this session, there's a knock at your door.
All right, well, Rafe was in the process of trying to figure out what sort of outfit one wears to a street riot.
Yeah, it's a good question.
He's settled on something that would probably, as much as the inner Toreador in him just seethes at the thought, he's wearing something that would make him blend in more along with the dock workers in the neighborhood. So
okay,
so the wool knit cap, the hook knit sweaters. He looks like he could be leaving work to go, or he could be leaving home to go work a night shift at the docks right now.
Good call.
But so he's got heavy thump engineer boots, and he does reach for the trench knife that he did smuggle back from the war. Hello.
And from the other side of the door, you hear, "Oi, Rafe! It's Franklin."
Oh, right, mate. Hold on. And unlock the door and try to screw on as much of a expressive smile as possible, and open the door with wide arms. Oh, hello, lad. Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's so nice to see you, mate. And he, it's kind of early in the night, but he's a little bit drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a bottle of wine in his hand, and then he's kind of just wearing like some very simple clothes and a wool coat. He's in his late 30s, but he looks older. He's balding. He's got a bit of a punch of a belly. And he does have like he's got one of these like cardboard type of boxes under his arm as well. He's like, "Can I come in? Can we have a drink or something?"
You can have a drink, lad.
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
All right. Now, inside, quick as you can. And as soon as Franklin is inside, Rafe's making sure that no one is in the hall, and then he's going to close and lock the door.
Okay.
Hello there, lad. Oh, yes, thanks for stopping by. Yes, by all means, have a seat. Rafe's little flat here. It's not the best place in the neighborhood, but it's not the worst either. There are some minor creature comforts. Rafe is trying to live within his means, so it's not ostentatious for a Toreador haven yet.
Sure.
But it's comfortable and clean, which is most important for Rafe right now.
And pretty good for the East End.
Yes. So what brings you around, lad?
Oh, I mean, I just want to wish you Merry Christmas and all, and I mean, cracking.
Oh, thank you. It's I get to see some things that not many do, and I have the privilege of writing from a place of privilege.
Well, it shows. It's really, really, really bloody good. But first, I got something for you.
Lad, you didn't have to do that. But by all means.
I know I didn't have to, but I wanted to. You're my mate. And so he gives you this box, and unlike Lillian's elegantly wrapped package, this is a drunk man wrapping a box. So it's literally probably just like newspaper and some tape.
Which
so
is fine by Rafe. This is
absolutely. So he'll give you the box.
All right. And unceremoniously start to open it. Just I'm not being careful, but I'm not doing the obnoxious, wild, crazy kid. Ah! No,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
It's a nice, respectable, fun opening for an adult.
Level of excitement.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll open it and you'll pop the lid off, and inside is a really, really nice, coincidentally also green, a dark forest green. It's a really smart wool long coat.
Oh. This is amazing. You didn't. Oh, Frank.
You should have something nice. You should have something nice.
You didn't. I can't accept this.
I insist.
Right. Well, tell you what. How about your handling fee for my work? How about I could probably make a give you a more generous arrangement for the next couple of articles. How's that?
Well, I won't bat my eyes at a little Christmas bonus, will I?
Right. And I slip on the coat.
And it fits you. It looks really smart. It's clean. The lines are clean and angular. The buttons are like a nice, shiny kind of silver. The one thing that does kind of trip something at the back of your mind is that you kind of get transported back to the Nosferatu cavern, and that boy Clark had that similar green coat. So it is not identical, you can tell that, but it just sort of takes you back there for a second. You all right, mate?
Yeah, Goose fucked over my grave is all, lad. It's all right. So how's the missus?
Oh, she's fine, just
Well, hey, lad, look at it this way. It's you at least have this to listen to, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right, but it's like I'm getting old. I'm bored. I'm just like, I'm ready to do something exciting, like, and I was thinking, I mean, I'm getting old, as I said, like.
Right. So take a holiday. You can go to the continent now. Go to Paris.
That's not what I mean.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, I want to be like you. I want like your life.
And Rafe actually has to take a step back at that. And he actually sits down and he's mulling his words very carefully, and I'm actually going to Blush of Life.
Okay.
Fail.
Lillian, take it away.
Really? Have we not gone over this already? What are you going to do now? You're going to starve? You're going to continue to be mediocre for the rest of your unlife? Perhaps now you should just go ahead and take a very long walk into the dawn. Do us all a favor. Or you could eat this one in front of you. That works just as well for me too. Probably even better for you. That one seems to have more sense. You're what? See, you
I'm-
can't even finish a single sentence. Now, whatever are we going to do about that?
Shut up.
Oh,
Leave me alone.
Now, is this going on inside? Like,
No,
are you saying
he's
this out loud?
he's
You're
vocalizing
vocalizing
this.
this?
this is great.
He's vocalizing this.
Okay, so Franklin is, his eyes are wide.
Oh, no, oh.
Uh,
No, not you, no. Oh, shit. Right,
Look at you. You've gone and done it again.
lad, no. Frank. And I'm
what,
gonna,
mate? What?
I'm gonna light up that cigarette that I earned this cigarette.
Sure. And you're fully like, you
Mhm.
got some color in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fully blushed. Yeah.
Right. Do you see what I just did?
Yeah.
Feel
like, you know-
feel my hand. Feel my hand.
And he sort of like, and he touches your hand. It's warm. That's a bit off, right, for you?
I had to drink someone's blood to make this happen.
Ugh. Bit of a nasty business.
Yeah.
But you'll never die, though.
Oh, we die. I've seen. I haven't told you this word yet. This is what we call ourselves. But no, Kindred. I've seen Kindred die in the war. It's we can die just as easily as you. It
Just as easily.
is in the right circumstances. Sometimes easier. You can walk out as soon as the sun comes up. You can look at a sunrise and not immediately get burned to charcoal. I suppose this is only natural that we, Kindred, you might have this idea in your head from reading Stoka that Kindred are beautiful, dare I say, use the word sexy creatures of the night, that we can go about as we please and do what we want, that we'll never grow old. We kill people for parlor tricks like this. You can line me up in the alley down below and shoot me square in the chest. And it won't kill me, true, but someone else had to die. Or possibly die to get that to happen. All of us are like this. We are not something to be admired, Frank. We're not something to be aspired to. We are something to be feared. We are something to be loathed. I'm sure that you love hearing about my nightly escapades. But you have to remember that someone else pays for my life, and that is something that I will never be able to tolerate. I want you to remember that, Frank.
And he looks down, feeling kind of thoroughly admonished in this situation. And then he looks back up at you and he smiles slightly, kind of a weak little smile. let's just forget about it then, eh, mate?
Right.
And he pops the wine bottle has already been opened at a previous time, so he pops the cork out and just takes a long swig from that wine bottle. And he kind of coughs a little bit. Well, mate, I know you got your things you have to do. I just, wanted to see you, wish you Merry Christmas, give you your gift, and
Right.
probably should get back to the wife then, I suppose.
Yeah, listen, things are going to be ugly tonight on the streets. Get home quick as you can, and make sure that if you've got a gun at home, make sure that you've got it loaded and handy. All right.
And he looks a little bit concerned at that, but you've been, friends long enough that he knows better than to like pry into like what you mean or what the nature of the danger is. So he kind of accepts it and he nods like, all right, I'll go right home and I'll batten down the hatches and I won't go out into the street. Don't worry about me. But
Right. And no, Frank, before you leave, no hard feelings, lad. All right. Merry Christmas.
right.
And-
Of course. Yeah, no worries, mate.
And I put up my cigarette and I will actually reach out and I'll give him a hug.
And he'll hug you back. And with blush of life on, it's almost like the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just like so many aspects of being a kindred, it's just a superficial facade that masks your true nature, a nature that you just tried to explain to this kind of schmuck
Yep.
of a mortal man. And I think at this point we're gonna call it a night and save the rest for the next episode. Really well done, everyone. A very successful holiday. Well, successful. I don't know about for Tommy, but
Successful.
yeah, I mean, I feel like
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, everybody's got some. Everybody's got some presents. Everybody's
I just want to
got.
say, I am super stoked for Lillian to eventually become everyone's beast. She earned that damn shit.
She's just gonna fully
She
like take
earned it.
over.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
She's just gonna be
Um,
like, "Oh, what are you doing now?
Well,
Doing
because-
not what you're supposed to be doing."
Well, because the driving impetus that I had here for this was, I mean, they do it in Wraith. Everyone plays each other's Shadow and Wraith.
I didn't know that because you
Mhm.
said Wraith, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't
Yep.
exactly sure what you meant by that, but that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
And that's I kind of like that mechanic. That's
and
really cool.
and back in the day, the internal monologue with the Beast wasn't really like a thing. That was something that LA by Night popularized. And
Yeah.
so now,
Sure.
let's make it a thing. Why not? They
I
do
love
in
it.
Wraith. Let's do it in Vampire.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody at home for joining us once again. This was episode 6 of London's Bleeding. We got still more in store for you all. And next time, we're really going to get into it. So I have a fun ride planned for everybody next session. Yeah, so really well done. So let's go around the horn once again. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you're working on, all that good stuff. And we'll start again with Ben.
My name is Ben. You can find me at Martlet. I keep saying I'm going to get involved in the Discord, and one of these days that'll be true.
Same.
Hi, Patrick Gill. I'm the creative director here for this group of
Use your
people.
words
People.
People.
wisely.
People.
I guess I'm a people.
I'll take it, people.
No, I could not be grouped up with a better gaggle of friends. So this is great. Social's gonna be over in the side of the chat. You can see me on Vancouver Adjacent, where I play Harley, your third favorite Nosferatu on Twitch. Other than that, check out our Patreon. If you were a Patreon member, you got access to this shit early. So yes, definitely, please give us a check over there. Thank everyone for stopping by, and I'm gonna pass the baton to my beast now.
That would be me. Hi, I'm Samantha McClarty. I was the Venture Lillian Crawford, and I have a link tree, I think, in the chat, wherever the hell that's gonna be. It should be well updated with everything and everywhere you can find me. But if you feel adventurous and you want to go on a bit of a scavenger hunt, you can try to search for me at Just S McClarty on all the socials. Good luck with that. The odds may be in your favor. I'm doing all the fun things with Martlet, having fun with them. I can't wait for all the other stuff that we've got planned, as well as I play sort of kind of Harley's better half to our little dynamic on Vancouver Adjacent by night. And if you're keeping up with that, at some point, you might have seen me lose control. That's a fun one. If you haven't been keeping up with, good luck. Try to find that. Other than that, I am definitely looking forward to all the cool stuff that we get to do. Can I say the thing, Steve?
Which thing?
The thing that we're working on with you.
Yeah, we can bring it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yay! I get to be playing I'm going to be playing a Toreador in the Sabbat game that is being worked on right now. We haven't started recording yet, but I'm really excited about that. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I'm going to leave it to you to talk about all the lovely fun stuff. I can't wait. I'm just really excited about it, and I'm talking too much. Here you go. Next person.
And I'm Steven Rieger. I play Tommy the Malkavian. My link tree should be in the chat as well. If not, you could find me at Darth Generico. I am a creative partner with Martlet. Got a lot of things down the line. And yes, I do have a Sabbat game coming out very soon. Everything's written. We just need to get the gang all together, get it recorded, and send it out to you folks. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be probably around the same time as this. If not, check the VODs. If you're not checking that, go through the VODs or the YouTube channel anyway. Check out the other games that we've already started. Yeah, give yourself some time to watch all of them. Yeah. Enjoy yourself. Treat yourself.
Okay, and my name is Sarah. I am your storyteller for London's Bleeding. You can find me as Jude the Brawlin Tremere on Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness, which starts the Saturday Vampire Takeover. I'm having a lot of fun there. That's getting real spicy. So if you want to see what I'm doing as a player, you can enjoy that. I also will be a part of the Sabbat adventure, so please look out for that. Definitely gonna take some tips from Elena Cortez, no doubt. And yeah, on the social media you can find me. Yeah, good. You can find me at MC Diabetes, mainly on Twitter. If you want to see me retweeting everybody's projects and all the cool vampire and World of Darkness stuff, I try to keep it pretty updated with what I'm doing and what all the cool people that I know are doing. And I want to thank you all again for joining us at Martlet Games for London's Bleeding, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.